गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं यत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। These first three slides that we are going to present must be the path through which our integral yoga should progress. The first is, we are given this freedom for the service of the world. And you always remember that a true leader is not the Prime Minister or a Chief Minister or a scientist, but someone who takes up the burden by self-choice. You understand the word self-choice? When Gandhi decided that he would fight for the freedom of India, it was his choice. And it was a single man's choice at first. And then it became a collectivity, but not of the entire nation, but a few people. But they changed the face of India. This we should remember, that the freedom that we have been given, we didn't win over it. It should be used in the service of the world. This must be our first guiding principle. Next, there must be a final revolt. These are the words of Sri Aurobindo himself. It is not a revolt against the British government, which anyone can easily do. It is in fact a revolt against the whole universal nature. So that is the revolution for which we are trying. And when we say the British there, it only means materialistic aspect. We are not talking about any particular land or people. So this is the revolt to which you should be prepared, to serve the world. You should revolt with your nature. And your nature now is made up of three bodies: the mental body, the vital body, and the physical body. And you have to revolt against them. And a revolt means revolt. A revolt is not an easy thing. It should be, always remember the operating word, integral revolt. It should not be a partial revolt, an intellectual revolt, or a vital revolt, or a physical revolt, but it should be a three-in-one revolt. Next, we have the 5 dreams, and I would ask all of you to read it daily, because what is a dream in a scientist's brain becomes a reality later. And this dream is not of a scientist, but one who has achieved truth consciousness. So what does it mean? It means that the truth is in the dreams. But they are a dream because they have not yet happened. And for its happening, it is we who have to do it. It is the people who should help for the dream. So when Sri Aurobindo speaks about
and do sadhana. What you are supposed to do is to get it back. You should get back your memory. And what is the best way to get back the memory? The best way is to keep still. and let the memory come. Next. The second dream was for the resurgence and liberation of the peoples of Asia. And now, what Sri Aurobindo means by Asia, that is very important. You think in those lines. The second dream is, it is the Asia which should come up. If you want to do something, it is first the idea must go into the brain, and then only you can do it. Then, the third dream was a world union among the outer basis of a fairer, brighter and nobler life of all mankind. This is also, as I said, in the UNO. But the UNO military only should be there, and all other countries should not have to spend even a paisa for their military, police or judicial systems. That is the another goal. Do you know, one day what America spends for its military survival or something, what you say, you can build a 2,000 bed hospital and maintain it for 20 years. And you are wasting that money on military. And what are we supposed to be? Intellectuals. Can't we, all the presidents of the world, come together and say, one military is enough? We will send it to different parts, whereas just as if in India, in a particular state, something happens, what do? The military comes from the center. Every state will not have a separate military. But this thinking process you should develop. Because somebody has to think this first. And this is the dream. And here too India has begun to play a prominent part as using the past tense there. Next. The fourth dream, the spiritual gift of India to the world, has already begun and it is being now continued. But we are not really active as we should be active. That is what we should remember. Divine must come first, the divine will must come first, and our personal latter. But what is happening? Our personal jobs, our personal viewpoints, our personal responsibilities come first. And then if you have time, you come here. It should not be like that. It should be as if you are working as a subordinate for the masters. And remember that any revolution is self-chosen. Nobody can put you and say that you will be responsible. If you don't come, you will be taken to task. No. Nobody is going to take you to task. You have to decide yourself. And the fifth dream was a step in the evolution which would raise man to a higher and larger consciousness. This is what the 5 dreams of Sri Aurobindo are. So I would advise all of you to read it regularly because they have come from a man who used it from truth consciousness. And truth consciousness means it will grip you if you allow you to grip it. But allowing it must be from your side, not from that side. Just as he said, if you want the electricity to give you a shock and wound you, you should not wear rubber gloves. If you wear a rubber gloves, no much any voltage, nothing will happen. So next. Now let us understand who Mother is. Mother is the story of free earth. This is given in here. Mother's agenda in the introduction. Mother is the story of free earth. Free from its spiritual and scientific parents. You understand this word parents. Whatever we are talking about in scientific jargon or in spiritual jargon, both are jargons. Just because a scientist speaks something in his which we cannot understand language, it doesn't mean that he knows anything. Because in 1925, a scientist said that quantum physics is difficult to understand. In 1965, a Nobel Prize winner said, nobody understands quantum chemistry. That is the evolution. Huh? So that's the danger. Let us be careful. Is it a parrot-like repetition? Or are we remolding ourselves so that the higher force can transform us? There is nothing more persistent than those particular parrots.
Free from its little ashrams.
Huh?
Very, very important.
Very important. That is what I am telling. Because if you are really what you know and you understand, you should understand that the knowledge you get should be utilized in the world. A little engineering college is there. You become an engineer, and then what happens? The engineer goes out. And that engineering knowledge is used for the world. A doctor in a medical college gets his degree in medicine. And where does it use it? In the world. And the knowledge that the ashrams are supposed to give, and remember, ashram means a place where you need not labor, no shrama. Shrama, ashrama. So you should know the art of living without any labor. That's why I give this quotation, Mother is the story of the free earth. And this concept of free earth is nothing new to us. In our Puranas, whenever the Asuras or Rakshasas or Pishachas dominate, the mother goes there to the higher place. The mother means Mother Earth. Literally we read it. She goes there and it is a literal fact, you remember that. And what happens? The truth conscious says, yes, at the opportune time, I will give you. And what is the opportune time? We won't decide. He decides. And when he says the time is right, and after independence of 60 years time going away, so what we are supposed to do is a Shashti Purti Utsava. Is it what is it? Huh? And what is it we achieve? After knowing his dreams and knowing the mother consciousness and Sri Aurobindo consciousness. So what I am trying to do is I am not criticizing. Make more sincere efforts. A very sincere effort is if you don't do the sincere effort, somebody else will do. When Arjuna said, I will not fight, very casually Sri Krishna said, Yadi Ichhasita Dharma. In the field of battle itself, he said, if you don't want to fight, don't fight. But because you are Priyo Sime, Sakhe Sime, because I love you, because I am your friend, because from thousands of years in the evolutionary plan, we are being molded by these two personalities who are infinite in their nature. That is where we should show our gratefulness to them. Now at this last moment, when the final onslaught is going on, you see the newspapers and you will understand it. The final onslaught of the Asuri Pravrutti, the Paishachika Pravrutti, the Rakshasa Pravrutti is everywhere. You just open the page, you see it. And what more proof you want that the time is right, you are ready to fight, and if you don't fight, Pandits say, just for a casual question, if Arjuna really did not fight in the end, what would have happened? Interesting question, because Sri Krishna said, okay, you are supposed to fight, you have been trained for that, I was with you throughout these lives. Bahumni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. So it is your duty to be with me and fight. And suppose what would have happened if Arjuna, because of his own ignorance, because of his own limitations, because of the lack of purity and concentration and renunciation, we are going to use these three words: purity, concentration and renunciation in our Chaitya Purusha, and also in our central being, and also in our souls. We should understand the difference between the three. Jivatma, the soul, and the Chaitya Purusha. And suppose because of some defects there, Arjuna did not fight, then what would happen? There were, the Pandits say, 5 people ready to take his place, because he knows our own weaknesses and our own abilities. So he always loves us. Even we revolt, and if you don't surrender also, he loves us. But his plans will not change. Now, it is an open challenge that I tell to all people wherever they go. Can you understand the challenge? Do you think that your own organization is the central pivot? If you think like that, ego. The ego must be in you.
Major consciousness, it is always in the.
And see how the 5 dreams of Sri Aurobindo are taking shape. In the cauldron of burning desires, burning thoughts, and burning actions. Next. This is most important. If you want to change the conditions, without changing the consciousness, it is impossible. That is where we fail. It is not our misunderstanding of what is saying, but we are not taking the real work we have to do to change our consciousness. The engineer develops an engineering consciousness after 5 years of hard study, a regular study. He goes to the college, comes back, reads, studies, goes to the college, comes back, reads, studies, and then gives examinations. And every problem in your life where your ego is obstructing is an examination. Don't run away from the examinations. Take up the challenge. Be where you are. But are you facing it as an examination or as a means of closing our eyes and coming back? 90% times it happens like that. Let it not happen this time. Face the examinations. And then how can your consciousness change? By reading. How can you become an engineer? By reading engineering books. How your consciousness becomes the consciousness of a doctor? By reading the medical books and then keeping it here and acting according to it. Why homeopathy is not developing, even though I am sure that it is better than allopathy, because when a patient comes, then the doctor opens the book and sees. It is not here. Though it is a better system of medicine, the practitioner is not a better doctor, because he has not taken the trouble to keep that knowledge here. The Ayurveda is facing also the same fate. It is not here. And we also are having the same fate because this book is not here. It should be here. And you should have the correct explanations, the correct understandings. Right? Next. Now we go to the last chapters, Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Those who have the book, you can go to the last chapters. Now let me give you a clue in spiritual understanding. In understanding, I am using that word as Sri Aurobindo uses. That way I will tell you what understanding is, what it is. To change the evolution, to change the consciousness. What was the advice given by Narada to Ratnakara? He said, have an aim of Rama. Just parrot like depiction of Rama was not intended. It It was a mantra. Mantra means mananat trayate. When you go on mulling over it, musing over it, thinking over it, then that mantra gives you the results. And Ratnakar couldn't use that word Rama. Then what he was advised? Reverse it.
When you don't understand it, start from the reverse. You remember this clue. Always, and now you will see how easy it becomes to understand the Jnana Yoga when you start from the back chapters. The Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga and Samadhi are the last 3 chapters. And now I am going to touch them first and see what happens when you touch the first chapters in the reverse order. Right? Now, the warning. It seems that the whole integral yoga is full of warnings. What is the warning? On the whole, for an integral yoga, the special methods of Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga may be useful at times in certain stages of progress. This is what you should understand, that you are not supposed to practice Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga, which are meant for the development of Annamaya Purusha and Pranamaya Purusha, or our physical body and vital body. Because very clearly we know that these 2 bodies have been completely perfected. So the yoga of perfection for Annamaya Kosha or Pranamaya Kosha is not necessary. But what is necessary is, you should know when to use it and when not to use it. That is where we make the mistake. We just forget that they are to be used. They are tools. That is the only perfected part in our body. These 2 are perfect. So if you want to have a perfect yoga, you should start with the perfect instruments, is it not? But we start with the perfect instruments, not to perfect these instruments, because they are already perfect. Then what you are supposed to do? You have to perfect the Manomaya Purusha, which is developing. The Manomaya Purusha has not yet developed. It has 4 levels which have to be developed. We have not yet reached the higher mind. We have to reach the illumined mind. We have to reach the intuitive mind, and then we have to reach the overmind. Then only you can go to the supermind. And when you say supermind, if you take this Sanskrit word, it becomes very easy for us. These are the Manomaya Kosha planes, and supermind is Vijnanamaya Kosha. So when you use Vijnanamaya Kosha, the confusion will not be there. Because when you use supermind, automatically the word mind makes you think of Manomaya Purusha, whereas super itself means it is beyond mind. So for us, as Sri Aurobindo has advised, let us use the technical Sanskrit words. So before you reach the Vijnanamaya Kosha, you have to perfect the Manomaya Kosha. And to perfect the Manomaya Kosha, you use the already perfected natural Annamaya and Pranamaya bodies you have in you by the Hatha Yoga technique and the Raja Yoga technique. Are we doing it? That is what we have to question. That is what he says. It may be useful at times, because many of the practices we are doing are not meant to develop the mind. All the yogic practices, the Hatha Yoga practices, are asanas and pranayamas. The asanas and pranayamas which are now being practiced and advertised, do you think they are developing your mind? Is the mind taking any active part in those asanas and pranayamas? No. You are doing it mechanically. You need not do it, because mechanical doing is for perfection. Abhyasa is mechanical doing. Repetition of the same thing, time and again till you will become perfect. So you need not practice asanas, abhyasa. You need not practice pranayama, but you have to practice it for the development of the mental body, because they are the only 2 perfect instruments you have. How can a defective body help in the growth of a defective body to become perfect? So that is the role what Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga has to play in integral yoga. So you can underline those things. Useful at times in the certain stages of progress, but are not indispensable. And when he said they are not indispensable, that doesn't mean that you do not need it. It only means that even if they are not there, you can progress. But what is the harm in having a perfect tool instead of throwing that away? Because nature has given, you are in the body and in the pranamaya kosha. You just can't say, no, I don't want it. Even if you don't want it, you are in the body and you are in the vital body. Next. Until I say stop, you go on. Right. In science, when you want to develop an instrument, a perfect instrument, what do we do? Suppose you want to have an instrument made of iron, a new instrument which was not already in the world. You are understanding the question, no? You want to have a new instrument. You want to perfect a new instrument in the material world, in the field of science, made up of iron. So what you are supposed to do? First you have to get iron. Where do you get iron? From the mines. Do you get the pure iron from there? No. So what do you get? The first is purification. So if you want to do some work with iron so that you can have an apparatus or a machine made up of iron, first you should have pure iron. So the first stage of any yoga is purity of the instrument. And when Sri Aurobindo says that the Annamaya and the vital bodies are already perfect, it means they are already pure. They are already pure, you remember it. This is what we forget. Our Annamaya Purusha and our Pranamaya Purusha are perfect, not ours. The entire humanity is perfect. Nature has already achieved it. But you have to be aware of it. And then, what you are supposed to do? You remember about the machine I am talking about, which is made up of iron. So what should the iron must become now? It should become fluidic. The pure iron cannot be a solid iron. It should be a molten iron. And once the molten iron is there, you have the necessary background to have your machine. But that machine from the molten iron can come only when you have the mold. The molten iron you have. For a new instrument made up of that substance, but it is still not there. Is it clear? In the material level I am explaining you. Then the molten iron must be poured into a mold. That mold is concentration. You concentrate on a particular topic. Is it not? So what happens? Just as the molten iron, when molded or poured into the mold, that is a concentrated form. Then you wait for some time. What happens? You get the new apparatus. So this is the exact process you have to do with your mind also. So what is it? The first thing is, your mind must be purified. Just as the mineral which was in the earth has been separated from the impurities and you have got the pure iron, in the same way you should have a pure thought. The pure thought you can have. A pure thought which is beyond your vital desires, which is beyond your Annamaya defects, and which is also beyond your egoistic thoughts. You have to purify your thoughts of all these three. That is where the samadhi also comes. Next chapter, but let me finish this Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga first. Raja Yoga deals with mind. I am talking about the mind. So while we are reading all these, three things should not hamper us. First is your material mind, giving it a material color. How? If you are a Hindu, when you say God, you have a material mind. Your God is different from Allah. No doubt about it. Even though your lips say, we feel one. So what is there? The material mind is obstructing you. Just put it aside. And then you have a vital mind. The God is there, but for me Rama is good, Krishna is not good. For me Kali is good. So the desire mind, the personality mind obstructs. The thought is there, God. The material mind, broad sects. The vital mind, personal gods. You just wait, Amma. You it is being molded. And then we have the thought about God, the idea about God. Each one of us, even though we use the word God, your thoughts about God are certainly different. The number of thoughts which revolve about the word God is different for each one of us. And that difference is because of the ego. So, for the mind to be molded to become a perfect instrument, you should be beyond the Annamaya Purusha, the Pranamaya Purusha, the Manomaya Purusha, which in total is known as the psychic being. And that is not enough. You have to go beyond it, beyond the ego also. And how can you do it? By samadhi. If you are in samadhi, you are beyond all these three states. That is why very specifically Sri Aurobindo mentions that samadhi cannot be a part of integral yoga. Because in samadhi, when you come out of the samadhi, your Chaitya Purusha also comes out. In samadhi, you are free from all these things. You are in what we call trance. But okay, if you are in the trance, it's good. But if you want to use the lower principles, you have to come out of the samadhi. And if you come out of the samadhi, again the defects come. But very specifically, Sri Aurobindo advises that you should use samadhi also. But just before going into the samadhi, you go to next slide. Next slide. Next. 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 Go on. Next. Go to the last. Go on. This one. You understood what I meant by the Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga and why I have crossed all those things? You have already perfected it. I have told you how you should use it. You should use this to purify your thoughts in three levels. Nishkama karma, equality in all places, samatvam, and then expertise in actions. But even though you are an expert in actions, you should not be egoic. This we have already discussed. And now, how to utilize Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Asana is used by the Raja Yoga only in its earliest and most natural position that naturally taken by the body when seated and gathered together, but with the back and head strictly erect and in a straight line, so that there may be no deflection of the spinal cord. This is what we have to practice. So wherever and whenever you sit straight. And try to sit in a chair which has no back. So the best thing is to sit in a stool. Or better still, you sit on the ground in Padmasana. The object of the latter rule is obviously connected with the theory of the 6 chakras and the circulation of the vital energy between the Mooladhara and the Brahmarandra. And this I have already mentioned you, that these 5 dreams of Aurobindo are based on the 5 chakras of ours in the lower nature, from Mooladhara to Vishuddhi. And this you can practice by just sitting in Padmasana, samam kaya shirogrivam, dharayan achalam sthiraha, samprechya nasikagram svam dishascha navalokayan. This is the asana and pranayama you are supposed to do. That's all. You have to do nothing else. The most important thing is the spine must be erect. But just keeping the spine erect and not knowing where you are supposed to have your consciousness. The Annamaya Purusha consciousness is in the Mooladhara. The Pranamaya consciousness is in Swadhisthana. The lower mind consciousness is in the Manipuraka. The higher mind consciousness is in the Anahata. And the over mind consciousness is in the Vishuddhi. So when you are sitting like this, you should be aware for every moment of your awareness what consciousness you are using. At present, what consciousness we are using? We are trying to utilize the illumined consciousness so that we can intuit. And where does the illumination come from? From these words. These words illumine our minds so that we can intuit the truth. You are understanding what I am trying to tell you? So this awareness of levels of consciousness, that is what Mother says. Your evolution depends on at what level of consciousness you are. And where Manipuraka. So whenever you have a strong emotion or a shock, you remember the Manipuraka activates. Either you fight or you flight. You run away. That is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So majority of us are stationed in the navel center. So this awareness Hatha Yoga gives us, and we should learn it. Don't you understand the importance of it when you are eating food? And if you are really hungry, then your Mooladhara gets activated. And if you don't take your food and keep your consciousness in Mooladhara when you are hungry, what happens? The Mooladhara gets opened and the Kundalini goes up. That is why you fast. That is the science behind fasting. Are you fasting in that way? Do you understand what you are supposed to do when you are fasting? All this are in those 2 chapters which I have eliminated, but I have given it in the slides. Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga, he has mentioned all these things, what I am now telling you. He said it as the psychological and physiological activation of the body. That is the word Sri Aurobindo used. So fasting is one of the best techniques to raise your Kundalini. And if you don't raise your Kundalini, what happens? Even though you have a perfect body and a perfect vital body, it cannot work 100% efficiently. Only when the Kundalini is risen, these 2 perfect bodies can work 100% active. That is why it is essential. That is why he has said. And he said, do this. Asana is used in Raja Yoga only in its easiest and most natural position, that naturally taken by the body when seated and gathered together. Samankaya shirogrivam dharayan nachalam sthira. Then what should you do? Samprechya nasikagram svam. See your nose. Why nose? Because nose is the Jnanendriya of Mooladhara. Mooladhara is earth principle. And what is the Jnanendriya of earth? Smell. So you go to the basic. Then what happens? From Mooladhara you automatically go to the Swadhisthana. And already you are in by your nature in navel center. Therefore, when you sit like this, what happens? The two lower perfected bodies jump into Anahata. And that is where the unity consciousness lies. That is where the love consciousness lies. So just by sitting like this, you can go there if you know the theory. That is why I said you read first. What is the use in just sitting like that? It is just like the advertisement. The child doctor, she is not a doctor, she is a child doctor, the daughter of a doctor. She puts the stethoscope and puts like that and prescribes glycodine. Because her father prescribes glycodine. We are doing these sadhanas like that, like the daughter. Because we don't have the knowledge aspect of Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Now we go to Samadhi. Reverse. We are going in the reverse way. And am I clear why it is in the reverse way? You will be able to understand the knowledge aspect clearly. Now you have a knowledge of Hatha Yoga. You understand it? What is the knowledge of Hatha Yoga? Purification of the physical body and the vital body. And what is Raja Yoga? Purification of the mental body. And how do we do it? By Nishkama Karma, by equality, by Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. But that is not enough. You have to be ego-less state. You have to annihilate the ego. How can you do it? By Samadhi. See what happens. Just wait. Here, we have a very beautiful three-lettered word. A-U-Ma. Om. And actually, if you are Om, you are practicing integral yoga. You try to understand what I am telling. If you understand Om, and if you are practicing Om, you are practicing integral yoga. Why? Jagrat, the material universe, Annamaya Purusha, and Annamaya plane, Annamaya world also, material world also, Swapna, our vital body and the vital plane, and Sushupti, the supramental plane. These divisions of Omkar you try to understand. When you say A, Aksharanam, Akarosmi, that is what Lord Krishna says. And whenever Sri Aurobindo mentions about Krishna, you remember he is talking about the overmind or the Maya of the overmind. Because the separative attitude can exist only until the overmind level. And after that you come to the supramental truth level where there is no separateness. So when you say the material universe is conquered, this you remember. When you split open an atom, what does the atomic energy do? It engulfs you for a long vistas of place. So this sound atom must be split. We are not splitting the atom. We are just chanting it mechanically. We are playing with a toy. But if you can energize the sound, A, U, and Ma, and the energization of this A, U, Ma happens in Samadhi. And once it is energized, you know atomic energy cannot be controlled. You cannot control it by any physical or chemical means. What you can do is, you can put what you call protectors. that it goes on evolving the X-rays and the rays of the nuclear rays. You can't stop it. So what we do? We need a protectors. Our protectors now are our ignorance of the real powers of the three layers. We are not aware of the A and the Annamaya Purusha, of the U and the Pranamaya Purusha, and the Ma and the Sushupta. Because they have a large knowledge compressed in those three letters. And many people ask me, how is it possible? When I say you are a MA, is it not a 18-year-old knowledge compressed in these two letters? When I say MA, you understand that he has studied it for 18 years, starting from LKG. That is where I am counting off. 10 years, and then 2 years intermediate, 12 years, then 3 years degree, 15 years, then 2 years post-graduation, 17 years. So these two letters show that you have in you a compressed knowledge of 17 hard worked years. Then why can't A, U, Ma compress the forces of evolution of the Annamaya plane and the vital plane and the Manomaya plane? But you have to understand it. How to do it? Next slide. Samadhi or yogic trance retires to increasing depths according to it draws farther and farther away from the normal waking state. This is what you are supposed to practice. And this samadhi is also known as yoga nidra in some schools of yoga. And probably yoga nidra is a better word because it is linked with nidra. And now let me tell you once again, when we are talking about the Jagrata Avastha, we are utilizing the Annamaya and Pranamaya koshas. When you are in the dream state, you are utilizing your Manomaya kosha. And when you are in the sleep state, you are utilizing the Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya koshas together. That is why the sleep state known as the Karana Sharira, the causal plane, which is the cause of all these planes. The truth consciousness, the Vijnanamaya kosha, is the cause of all these lower planes. But why we don't record anything? Because we have not developed a Vijnanamaya Purusha. Just as we have developed a Annamaya Purusha, a Pranamaya Purusha, the nervous system, a Manomaya Purusha of a very low cadre, the brain. Brain is linked with mind. Therefore, we are able to understand the Jagrata Avastha and the Swapna Avastha. But because we don't have a Vijnanamaya Purusha, the entire reason for Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga is the development of the Vijnanamaya Purusha. How to do it? Start with Samadhi. What does it mean? If you can understand Yoga Nidra, and if you can understand your dream state, you enter into the supramental levels. That is the secret Samadhi gives us. And those who have reached the Samadhi have blasted the Shabda Brahman. Therefore, their Samadhis are always active. That is why we go to the Samadhis. And that is why the relics are so important. It is a part of that bomb blast giving you those vibrations. But I sit there and I don't feel any vibrations. You go into the trance and then say you don't feel it. In your wakeful state, and that is why I say you meditate there, where the relics are kept. And for that meditation, depths according as it draws farther and farther away from the normal or waking state and enters the degrees of consciousness which are less and less communicable to the waking mind. So what you get there, they can't be communicated to the wakeful mind because we have not purified ourselves properly. Next. 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 The greatest value of dream state of samadhi lies, however, not in these more outward things, but in its power to open up the easily higher ranges and powers of thought, emotion, and will, by which the soul grows in height, range, and self mastery. And this is the real technique of meditation. This is what should happen if you are meditating properly. The bomb must blast. And what should happen? A pathway must be broke open so that the soul can grow in height, range, and self mastery. Now you understand samadhi? Samadhi is a state of meditation. Next. Next. In integral yoga, it is the psychic being which has to become the master of its samadhi. You now understand what samadhi is? Samadhi is the sleep state for us now. We are not able to understand the illumined mind and the intumined mind and the overmind. But when you practice the trance state, the psychic being, which is the inner being, comes into the front. And this Chaitya Purusha now dominates our daily life. Our external being, outer being is now dominating. Now what happens when you practice this samadhi? The psychic being comes to the forefront. And once he comes into the forefront, how you are supposed to surrender is his headache and not ours. And then only the divine takes over the sadhana aspect. Till then, you have to do that. You have to practice the hatha, raja yoga and samadhi things. And next, after 15 minutes.